What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Mask. This one, I guess, is going to be a B-side because this ain't our usual type of episode that we usually do. Obviously, I'm Fauci, and that's my boy over there, Mr. James Grimm.
What's going on, man?
We actually used our real names tonight instead of our married names that we usually use on here because we're trying to be professional tonight. Because I think we got a lot of guests, don't we?
Where's your first name?
What's my first name?
No, where's your first name?
You don't need to know that.
No, I know it, though.
You know it, but nobody else needs to know.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I think most people that tune in probably know it, but there might be some new people viewing today that don't know it. So my name's Matt, if you didn't know, but if that's what you want.
Hi, Matt.
So how you been?
How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man.
We planned this a long time ago, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't think that we'd have half the guests we have on, so I'm super excited to bring them on, especially me working with them for the first time, and you probably working with some of them for the first time too. So
yes, sir.
Got a long list. And what are we talking about tonight?
Top 5 moments from the Halloween franchise.
It's going to be a lot of Halloween Resurrection. I guarantee it. No. Busta Rhymes is the best. So if he ain't brought up, then I'm checking out on my own stream. But I guess, trick or treat, motherfucker. I guess we should introduce the starting lineup for tonight's game. So from the Slaughtered Lamb podcast, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked them out, go check them out now because they're fantastic. We got Frank Riker and Darren Sands.
Hey.
What's going on?
Thank you, gents. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for bringing us on.
No problem.
Thanks for having us.
These are the best. And I know Darren wants to go to sleep, but he forced himself to come on the show tonight, so I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Dan. It is quite late here.
And we also got somebody up who's up very, very late. We got, from Wolfman's Got Nards, we got Barry right there, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? He's eating his damn ice cream.
No, I'm eating my chocolate now, sorry. Yeah. You caught me.
Went from ice cream cone to chocolate. Don't get better than that. He's trying to stay up all night.
Yeah, midnight snack. It's at 2:15 in the morning, but I'm glad to be here. Good lineup. Looking forward to it.
We appreciate it. Really do. Also joining us this evening, we got Mr. Braden Timmons, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going, Braden?
It's going. Thank you for having me. Like you guys have been saying, this is quite the lineup. I'm really excited to, be here.
Well, we appreciate you being here too. And we also got somebody else that I can't believe is even on the stream, and he's probably only on here because James asked him, which is freaking badass. So thank you, James. We got the one and only Mr. Mood and Atmosphere, Dave McRae, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on. It is great to be here. I'm excited to talk about Halloween.
What a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. But there's nothing else I'd rather talk about, to be honest. It's my favorite franchise. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. So why the hell not bring a bunch of people who love Halloween together and talk about our top favorite moments of the whole franchise, which, there's been a ton of shitty ones, some good ones. So it's going to be interesting to see what everybody picked throughout this whole process. But I'm ready to get started if you guys are.
Let's do it.
I'm ready, Alex.
Let's go.
Halloween 5 for $100, please. No.
That's right.
Starting off with our number 5, even though the poster is a total damn lie. That's not the mask he wore in Halloween 4, but we'll go with it anyway. James made it, so I got to respect the decision. Our number 5 pick of our favorite moment. I'm trying to see who I want to go first. You know what? We'll go with Frank to start, and we'll go work our way around.
All right, so my number 5 pick, in no particular order, of course, because I think some of my moments are always going to be on top. It's the one kill that got me involved into the franchise in the first place, and that is from Halloween 4, and that's the Brady neck snap on top of the landing, where basically Michael says, "Look, kid, it's a giraffe," and he just basically snapped his neck. And actually, really, you never seen a slasher take a hit to the face with a shotgun. Just grab it, just take it over, put it over the side of the over the stairs, over the railing. He just says, "All right, what else you got, kid?" So he tries punching him, and he takes that, grabs his knuckles after that, and just says, "I'm just done with you." You know, I'm just gonna snap your neck. That for me, as an 8-year-old boy, seeing that for the first time, which my mother took me to, was just the start of the obsession. Was seeing a slasher, you know, basically toy around, literally toy around with a victim, and that's what Michael does. He's basically, he stalks and he toys with his victims. And for me, it had to start with Brady. Brady being for actually, you know, leaving Rachel, who we all know we probably all would like to marry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that moment. So for me, number 5 is the Brady neck snap from Halloween 4.
Damn, good choice. I didn't even think about that one at all. That's a fantastic kill too. I didn't even think about that.
It's slow. It's probably one of his slowest.
And you can hear everything.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good choice. I agree with that.
Good stuff. That was good, Frank.
I like that.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, pretty much. Darren, what do you got? Number 5.
Ooh, I'm back in number 4 again. I'm back in Halloween 4. The gas station scene in number 4. For a number of reasons. I like the zoom that we get on Michael. I love the fact that he's wearing those bandages. I think that, I think along with a lot of other people, that it would have been cool if we'd have seen him do the whole film with just the bandages on.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice change and probably a lot better, a lot better looking than the actual mask that we ended up with. But yeah, that whole gas station scene there with Loomis kind of trying to reason with Michael and showing a real vulnerable side, actually begging with him not to go through with what he's doing, I just think is a kind of welcome break from Donald Pleasance screaming and shouting. And it was one of my, when I first saw Halloween 4, it really stood out for me. I think it's in the trailer as well, is part of that moment. And we get he pulls the gun on him, and that's when that kind of Alan Howarth score bumps in there. It's a great moment for me.
Okay.
That's
Showing
good.
all the love for Halloween 4 so far. I mean, it is a fan favorite, so I definitely get that 100%. Definitely brought the franchise back, obviously being away for, 7 years, from Michael being on screen.
Yeah, absolutely,
so
yeah.
It was a good way to return, I think. I know a lot of people hate the mask. It is goofy looking. I like it for some reason, but I guess
there's one moment in Halloween 4 where I think the mask looks like Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And it's right after he kills Bucky, and the light just sort of, it goes up and then it dissipates, but he kind of turns and he looks like this. And I thought that was going to be a hit when I made that post, but I think it offended more people than it pleased. But I thought it looked hilarious.
How dare you, sir?
I know. Jesus. Shame on me.
It kind of does really look like him.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Barry, what about you, number 5?
It was a toss-up. I was actually going to choose a Halloween 4 scene, but I decided against it. I decided to go with the hot tub scene in Halloween 2, 1981. It's more so. It's a good scene.
He's excited.
But I think it's 1981, so it's hard to do the effects that they do, today, back then. I just like the whole, dunk in the head, and every time the head comes back out again, there's something worse, and it's in and out. So the kill is good, but the whole scene itself is good. It's a good build up of the scene with Michael coming out from the back, from the backdrop, coming up to the nurse and then attacking her. And obviously, she's on full show as well. It was either that scene or the opening sequence of Halloween 4, but I think because it was just an opening sequence without anyone in it, I kind of decided to go for Halloween 2.
That's a good choice too.
It's a good one, man.
That's good,
And
yeah.
He didn't burn his hand either.
No, he didn't.
No.
And he rubs her shoulders pretty provocatively too.
He does. And she takes the hand and bites it, and it's okay. It's fine. It was nice. It was good. Yeah. It was very romantic. It might be Michael's one and only romantic scene, actually.
Tastes like ham.
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
So he has had a romance scene, just not a sex scene yet.
Not yet.
Well, we don't know what he did to the dog.
That is true.
Oh.
That is true. That is true. That's a good point, Darren.
Oh man.
It's a very good point.
That's a good.
Anything's possible with the shape.
Disturbing, but it's a good point.
Well, hey, it's been 15 years. I mean,
He's all riled up.
that's right.
Damn. So in 2018, he was really jacked because he was in there for 40 years. So holy,
he was ready to go.
anything at all.
Oh yeah.
Braden, number 5.
I'm gonna bring us back on track here. I'm gonna bring us back to Halloween 4. I'm gonna say the shotgun to Kelly Meeker. I love that kill. It's one of my favorites. Like when she's like walking in, she's got the coffee, she's like lighting the candle, and she sees God, I forget the officer's name all the time, but he's like laying there, and then Michael gets up and just freaking sticks the shotgun through the wall. It's like he has every right to use it, doesn't decide to do that, just literally uses it as he would, and I just love that kill. I think it's a great moment. It's a great Myers moment. And yeah, that's my number 5.
The power he must have
To
put that through her torso and through the wall.
Right.
It's
unbelievable, and I just think that really showcases like how strong Myers is, and that's why when later on when Brady goes to punch him and he punches him in the face, it's like that's like literally it's like a cotton ball hitting his face.
Well, and she was looking for something naughty, and the gun being a phallic symbol. I'm just saying it. I mean,
correct. Wow.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, she got
stiffed.
She definitely got it. She got the stiffy, that's for sure. Yeah.
She did. Yeah.
Damn. Cops do it by the books every time.
But the sheriff's daughter does it by the fireplace.
That's right. That's right, James. That's right.
Yeah, she did. Another good choice. All right, Dave, what do you got?
Well, I am also going to Halloween 4.
Whoa.
And but that's probably as high as I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
This is me after all. So Halloween 4, my number 5, is the very end of Halloween 4 when it is revealed at the top of the stairs that Jamie is holding the scissors, and Dr. Loomis is he's going crazy. And I've often said that I think had in a perfect world, in the set, like had it been about the story and not about money, obviously, that would have been a great way to end the entire series, actually. And then maybe you reboot it 20 years down the road, or whatever, right? But if you had actually ended the entire story there, it's very powerful because evil wins. It comes full circle. So it began with Michael in a clown costume there, Michael taking off the mask, and there he is, and there's that, tableau shot or whatever, and it ends sort of on the same note, and history is repeating itself. Dr. Loomis has failed, and he's there and he's screaming up at her like, no, because he realizes, oh my God, not again, not again, not again. And she's standing there, breathing in and out with the mask on, and the scissors and everything. And I think that, and it cuts to black. And what a great, very dystopian sort of way to end it, where but it brings the morals and the message, not the morals necessarily, but it brings sort of the messages of the initial film home, which is you can't kill the boogeyman, evil, is always out there. And so, I don't think we needed to see a Jamie version or anything like that. Yeah. It's just, it's her, the symbolism that surrounds her standing at the top of the stairs is enough. That's it. That's the message. It's done. It's over. It's beginning again. And I still think, it is a great sort of twist, unexpected, and it's my number 5.
Damn good choice.
Can I just ask, Dave, where were you expecting it to go after that?
Not where it went.
I agree with you. It is a great ending.
Yeah.
But it's like, when I left the cinema after watching it, I was thinking, well, what happens now? You know, I don't want her killing people. I want
No, I didn't. I didn't either. I think it would have been like I did a McRae Live a few months back where I talked about my idea for a Halloween 5 and what I would have done. It's on my channel. You can check it out if you're interested, folks. But essentially, I have Jamie not the killer, and she is in a psychiatric ward, but I keep Rachel alive. And then the story really revolves around Michael does come back, but it's more of a slow burn, and the focus is really on the relationship between Jamie and Rachel and nurturing that. And then on Halloween, some people start to show up dead, and what's going on, and Dr. Loomis shows back up thinking it's happening again, you know, whatever. And but there's no like Thorn, and there's no Man in Black, and there's no and
Cookie
Jamie's
Monster.
Yeah, exactly, and things like that. And then it actually ends. The climax would be at either Smith's Grove or the hospital where Jamie is at that point. And the people think that she's an evil child and all that kind of stuff, but really what's happening is that Michael has returned. And anyway, it's more in that kind of route. I think would be the right way to go. You have to bring him back. Just the ways that they brought him back was just absolutely ridiculous. But I think had they ended the story there with just her at the top of the stairs, magnificent. You don't need to say anything else. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah. That brings me to my number 5. I'm going the opening of Halloween 5 when the Hermit brings in Michael Myers. No, I'm just kidding. I
was about to log out.
That was a good one.
I was going to say, Fauci, you're about to have all of us just exit out of here.
Don't worry, there's no Halloween 5 on my list.
You be quiet.
But
get out now.
Get out now. My number 5 is probably not.
Go on, Matt. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. My number 5 is probably not very popular because most people don't like the movie. I know Barry loves this movie, and I know Braden loves it. I got the ending to H2O as my number 5. It probably has a lot to do with. It was one of the first ones that I've ever seen, so that probably had a lot to do with it making the list. Had a lot of nostalgia for me. The full circle that, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis from the 1978 film was tormented by Myers and had all the PTSD and a more realistic version of it than we got in 2018. But she came full circle. She had to fight her demons and realize that she was the only one that was there to stop Myers, even though, you know, Resurrection came along and fucked that up, which we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist. So, but for me, the fact that they actually killed him and cut his head off, when I first saw that, I was in shock because I really didn't think that was actually going to happen, because it usually doesn't happen. You know, in these movies, the killer always comes back. So it was shocking to me. And the more and more I watch it, I know people don't like it very much. It's not the Myers that most people want to see. I get it. But for me, it holds a nice place in my heart, even if it is, you know, not as good as some other films on the list. But just that moment for me is pretty iconic. So that's why I had to put the beheading on at number 5.
Very cool. Was it the first Halloween movie you saw in the theater, or I don't know how old you were then, but
I was 10 when that movie came out.
Okay.
I didn't get to see it in the theater because my parents would not take me to see it. My first theater experience was Resurrection, unfortunately. So you would think that one would hold a place in my heart, but it doesn't. But something about it, just, I mean, I've seen the other ones before that one, but I guess that's probably why I grew up loving the character of Myers, and then to see him actually killed, supposedly, it hit for me. So I grew to love it. So that's probably why.
No, it makes sense.
A lot of people do, don't they? You know, I remember when I first saw it, I quite enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I just don't think, and Frank and I have just done a video on this, I don't think it's aged very well. I know Barry's spitting fire at me now. I honestly don't believe it's aged very well. I think it's got a very TV movie feel to it, and also the score to it feels like it was done by the brass band at that school that she works at.
Barry is losing control right now.
It's just something about it just seems very dated now, more so than the likes of Halloween 4.
It's a Dawson's Creek dream sequence, is what it is.
Yeah, but Barry will argue with you that Dawson's Creek came before Halloween.
No, well, the other way around.
Sorry, the other way around. Halloween came before Dawson's Creek. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but it's I'm using it as like a almost like a metaphor. You know what I mean? For the feeling of Dawson's Creek.
Oh, of course, and a lot of other things that were out.
Okay, Party of Five. Take your pick, Barry. Braden's looking at me going, "Shut up, all of you! Shut up."
Well, no, because I mean, I also I'm also a big H2o fan, so I mean, I love Halloween H2o, so I think I've got
a lot of people do. It came out at a time. It reintroduced the Halloween franchise to a lot of people that were, especially if you were born in the late 80s or early 90s. Halloween H2O may have been your first introduction to the franchise. And for a lot of people, it was. So there definitely is. You cannot underestimate the nostalgic attachment to that film. And it's certainly not the worst in the series.
No,
not by a long shot. But it certainly, a lot of people have an affection for that movie because it was, the first one they saw or their introduction to the character, especially if you're born, like I said, the late 80s, early 90s. It definitely, for a lot of people, was that. So, no, it's understandable. And it's not the worst by any stretch.
No, it isn't. And I do respect the fact that it is quite a loved episode within the franchise. And that's cool. If you like it, that's great.
Yep.
Good. All right, James, what do you got, buddy?
I'm not going to any of those routes. Now, none of these five are really necessarily in any order. This one might have people scratching their heads, but I'm going to pick Annie's death and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Because of how effective it is being a father and then watching Sheriff Brackett's face when he sees his blood-covered naked daughter's body on the ground, and his voice and the way he's just so emotional, and the acting in it is so powerful. And then they start showing like home video footage of Danielle when she was an actual kid, tying into her character as Annie, and seeing that through the eyes of Brad Dourif. It's very powerful, and like you can hear him, like you can start to hear Chucky come out a little bit. He's like, no, he's screaming, and he's just like, oh man. From that moment on, Sheriff Brackett became ballsy as fuck, and it's just really effective for me. Now, do I love the movie? Not so much, but I think that's one of the most effective scenes in the entire franchise.
Yeah, very good answer. Very cool.
Second time he saw her naked. Do you think we should call Dyfus? There's a pattern here, Andy. I'm always seeing you naked and bloody.
What's going on here? Oh, hi, Dad.
Oh, Annie.
Jesus.
It just sounds like straight up Chucky. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy.
Yeah. It's great.
All right. Good, different pick than most people would say, but good job. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, Frank, number 4.
Number 4 for me has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's Conal Cochran's monologue about why he's doing the sacrificing. Your kids are going out begging for candy. And when he starts, he's this nice, sweet old man when we first meet him. Very charismatic, very charming. And then he ties up Chalice, he catches him, and he explains to why he's doing sacrificing. And basically he says what Michael is, or Loomis would say about Michael. Do I need a reason? And he just keeps on going out there and explaining, we don't decide these things. Basically the plants are aligned 3,000 years ago, where everything ran with blood. We're set, and Conal Cochran explained everything so vividly that you can imagine what it was like 3,000 years ago. He's talking about how he was sitting in turf, his huts were clay, and when he leans over on that TV, his face changes, and then he can snap right out of it. I would like to have seen a Loomis versus Conal Cochran movie if that was ever to happen.
Happy Halloween.
You caused Michael to go crazy, Conal.
You see, now Loomis.
Fuck you.
Exactly. Loomis could be the wild, crazy one, while Cochran is the straight man. Be quiet, Loomis. No. You know what I mean? It's just like it's this crazy dichotomy. Yeah.
Yeah. So number 4 for me is Conal Cochran, his monologue to a tied up Chalice, which he probably enjoyed.
Chalice enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Someone in the chat says I'd bone Cochran. Big giveaway at 9 up in here.
Well, you tell that individual to knock themselves out. Whatever gets them on Halloween.
Candy for you.
Darren, number 4.
Well, jumping on the back of Frank's Halloween 3 choice there, both of us are big fans of Halloween 3, and you know, you never said whether this should be part of our choices or not. But along with Frank, I've stuck a Halloween 3 moment in there as well. And aside from Atkins, you know, roaming hands throughout throughout this movie, you know, it's absolutely impossible to count the sheer amount of ass slapping that's going on throughout the 90 minutes. But I think my main moment within this film is his kind of desperate attempt to stop the Silver Shamrock broadcast at the end. And, you know, just that kind of, after everything that he's gone through, you know, finding out that he boned a robot earlier on in the film and various other things.
While his real life wife was getting murdered.
In the next room, yeah.
Yeah.
His frantic attempt to shut down the TV stations is one of my favorite moments in the whole franchise. And as it kind of, you know, as he's screaming and shouting away there, you know, you get that fantastic score that kind of jumps in over the top of his shouting to close out the movie. So yeah, that's probably, and I always believe that amongst the other nods to Halloween 3 within the H18 film, the opening scene where the podcaster's shouting, say something, say something, say something, and it fades into those opening credits. I always think that that's a kind of nod to the end of Halloween 3, just the style that it's done in. So yeah, so that would be my my number 4.
I actually never thought about that. I'm watching Halloween 18 here in a few days, and I'm actually going to be looking at that a little bit differently now. So,
we don't need any more tips of the hat anymore.
Right.
Invoice will be in the mail.
Yeah.
Back to back Halloween 3 love. I love it. Barry, you're number 4.
Okay. This is when H2o flexes its muscles. Okay.
All right.
So my number 4 is when Laurie comes face to face with Michael for the first time in 20 years. Now, if you rewind yourself back to 1998, I loved the original Halloween, still one of my favorite movies of all time. And I loved it just before I saw H2O. And because obviously Laurie, her character wasn't in it for years, just seeing her coming back after 20 years was good enough. But then seeing her and Michael look at each other for the first time in 20 years, it's something that can't be replicated. When you look at Halloween 2018, when she sees Michael for the first time, supposedly in 40 years, there's not much of a dramatic connection there. That's the way I feel anyway. But just seeing her face looking at Michael for the first time in 20 years, even though it's half the time, it feels so dramatic. And I know that a lot of people have a problem with the Myers mask in H2O. I don't, because I feel like we know who Michael is. He's not a mystery anymore. Seeing his eyes is not a bad thing. And in fact, seeing his eyes is kind of important in this film because we need to see that connection between him and Laurie looking at each other for the first time. If they two look at each other for the first time in 20 years and you don't see his eyes, you don't see that connection. You don't see him looking at her going, there you are, I found you. It's been 20 years. You wouldn't get that connection. So going back to the reason, it's just seeing that, even today, looking at it today, I know some of you guys think it's dated, but that scene it gives you chills, knowing what Laurie's went through, waiting 20 years, and Michael waiting 20 years to see her. That moment, it can't be replicated, and you can see that in the 2018 movie. It's nothing compared to how they met each other in H2O.
I'm going to say something that might surprise all of you. I agree with Barry, and I agree that because I remember it, I was 19 when it came out, and I was working in a movie theater at the time, and I remember going to see it. I got to see it. I saw it 3 times because I got to see it for free. And that scene, you're right. There is that because it's the first time in 20 years. There's that emotional sort of like bum bum bum. There they are, face to face, right? The only thing for me, and I thought it then, and I think it now, and I will always think it, is that just the mask, if that mask had looked. And you can certainly make an argument to, well, it doesn't have to look like the mask from 1978 because that burned, and who's to say that exact mask would be in a store? And I mean, certainly it's justified why it wouldn't look the same. But had it looked the same for somebody like me, that would have just made that over even more. I disagree with the eyes thing, but I absolutely agree with what Barry is saying in terms of it is a far more dramatic reunion than what we had in 18, for sure.
It's interesting because the original mask that they used for that scene, which is in the trailer, and I know, Barry, I was watching today, you actually recut the trailer, didn't you, putting the H2O mask in there, the actual one that they used in the film?
Oh, yeah, no, I recut it with the actual scene from the movie. I didn't let
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But the original mask that they used, and I'm with you, Dave, on the eyes thing, didn't show the eyes, did it? No. They were blacked out.
Yeah.
But the mask looked so ridiculous. It was, I mean, the mask they used in the final cut was an improvement. But you still got the eyes in shot, and I don't know whether the eyes were purposefully there to have that connection that Barry's talking about, or whether they got to the stage where as time was running out and they just didn't care for it anymore, in terms of showing the eyes or not.
Yeah, but I agree though. I do think that it is a far more dramatic reunion for sure.
Way better.
I will say, had they have actually used in the very opening scene when he kills Marion Chambers in the very beginning of Halloween H2O, it's the H6 mask. I honestly wish that's the one they would have used, because actually in that shot, it's very brief, but if you pause it, you can see the mask. I actually like the way it looks in the beginning, but just the different masks that you see throughout H2O, it's definitely very off-putting. But I do think that had they have actually just stuck with that H6 mask, I mean, and had they, throughout Halloween 4, 5, 6, and H2O, they just changed the mask so much that he had all those different looks. I just feel like that even if it was the H6 mask, it would have been an improvement over, but that's just me. The H2O mask has grown on me, but that,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Somebody out there, and this has been mentioned 1,000 times already all across this Halloween community, somebody out there has to know the deep fake technology and has to deep fake that shit. They have to. Somebody's got to be able to do it. Somebody's got to be able to put the H7-8 mask in H4, in H5, H6, somebody's got to, but just to see how it looks. Just to see how it looks. Maybe it won't look good. Maybe it'll look weird or awkward, but just to see how it looks, just for shits and giggles, I would love to see somebody deep fake, not the whole movie, obviously, that would take a hell of a lot of work, but just, 30 seconds. You know what I mean? I think would be fun to see.
Add a hockey mask in there too.
Yeah.
And naked. Yeah.
Naked.
Anyway.
Naked in the hockey mask. Fantastic. Crazy shit.
Why is Michael naked?
I mean, I hate to, be a back-to-back type of thing, but I mean, Barry actually had my moment from number 4 as well, and it is that exact moment where Laurie and Michael meet for the first time in 20 years. I literally, Barry said that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm like gonna, we're just gonna do a back-to-back. But again, Barry already covered pretty much all of the moments that, is so integral to that. It's just that first time, it's like you could just see, like, you could really see the fear in Laurie's eyes, even knowing that he's like standing right in front of her. And then she looks down, gets the gun, looks up, and he's gone. Classic Michael Myers stuff right there. You know, so just that whole look of him like tilting his head and him knowing that it's her as well. Just that reunion right there, I think is, you know, amazing. And, you know, that's why it's my number 4. So I don't think there's anything else really to say about it.
Very cool. Very cool. No, it's great. It's a great pick, guys, for sure.
All right, Dave, number 4.
Is the same thing. No, it is it's my number 4 is, there's so many, right? I mean, I joked to Darren before we went live. I said, you know, can I have 5 and, you know, 48 honorable mentions? So it's, you know, so hard to pick. But my number 4, at least today, this may change, is going to be in Halloween 2, 1981. And I've talked about it many times. You guys probably are, you know, have heard me say it, is when Janet is killed with the syringe. Ooh. And I think it is, and it's largely, it took me a few years to figure out why I like it so much, but I think it is because, as I've said many times, it is the most Halloween 1 thing in Halloween 2. In a movie that is largely amping things up. We know that there's more blood. It looks a little different, even though Cundy shot it. You know, it's more there. You know, there's more people, more characters, more going on. But certainly that moment when she goes in and Dr. Mixter's got the needle in his eye and she's backing up and she's going, oh my God, she's backing up. And then you just see him, you know, slowly starting to, you know, fade in behind her in this sort of this ominous red kind of light. It's fantastic. The mask looks great. You know, he looks great. And just seeing the syringe go into the eye, and it's just, again, it's the presentation, right? You know, it's not necessarily the kill. I mean, the kill could have been anything really at that point. He could have strangled her, could have snapped her neck, could have poked her in the back. You know, I mean, it really is more to do with the reveal, because it's like, that's what we've come to expect from this character when you watch the first movie. So I think it's the most Halloween 1 thing in Halloween 2, and it's why it's my number 4.
Do you not see Michael's eyes in that scene?
Well, you do not when the mask kind of fades in, I don't think. I think it might be, yeah, you do see his eyes a fair bit actually in part 2.
I think it may be a production still when you see the syringe and he's behind her.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's a production still. That is correct, Barry. Yeah, bang on. Yes, I think that's what it is. Because the actual shot itself, I don't think you do. Now you do see one eye when he's killing what's her face in the house, when he for some reason leaps up like a cat. You do see kind of one eye, and you do see his eyes a bit when he's, you know, tilting his head when he's looking at what's her face dead after the hot tub thing. But yeah, no, I love that Karen. Karen, that's it. Yeah. Boobs and
you have to get that right, Dave.
Yes. Sorry about that, Frank. Nurse Karen. That's right. Who I met Pamela Shoop actually at the 40th. Well, I'm sure James might have as well. And she's a sweetheart. I remember when I was talking to Dean Cundy and I was all excited. And she came over. She's like, "Excuse me, I just need to say something." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." And she starts talking about something that's completely innocuous. And then we're all talking for like 10 minutes about like plants or something. It was very weird, but she was a very nice lady, and very blonde now, though. I don't mean blonde as in like like very blonde, you know, kind of dumb. I just mean her hair is very blonde. She's not a brunette anymore, folks. For those of you out there that may not know. It sounded like I was throwing some shade at her. Yeah, but that's why it's my number 4. Great moment.
Great choice.
It is a good one.
My number 4 is from Halloween 2018. I was a huge fan of 2018. I mean, the more I watch it, you know, I do notice its flaws, and I get it. I get why some people don't like it. But for me, the scene in that movie that I love is, I guess, it's the tracking shot. Whenever Myers is in full Myers attire, not killing. I do like the bathroom stall scene. That's great too. But I like when he gets that hammer, picks it up, goes and kills the Mrs. Elrod lookalike because she's making a ham sandwich instead of a turkey sandwich. He's a turkey guy. So I like that scene. And then as he goes past the baby, and you don't know what he's going to do. Is he actually going to kill? I mean, he just killed a kid not too long ago. So is he really going to kill a baby? For a second, I thought maybe, but luckily he didn't. And then as you continue to track him and he steps out that front door and the Halloween atmosphere, the trick-or-treaters and whatnot, it's like he gets that, like, the presence that he's back and this is his holiday. And people are going to start, fearing him again like they did in 1978. So, and then as he continues to walk down the alley and you see the silhouette of his body walking down the hallway in the alley, and then kills that other lady in that one straight shot. I mean, it probably isn't one straight shot, but you guys, you know what I'm getting at. I just, that for me was that Myers was back and he was looking amazing, by the way, as close as he's been to 78, in my opinion. I think Jude Courtney did a fantastic job. Actually, he's actually my favorite Myers, shockingly for most people, but I think he did a great job. He took what Nick Castle laid on the table and, added his own flair and a little bit more brutality than most Halloween fans would like. But I just love that scene in that film, and that's why I put it at number 4.
It's a good one.
Cool.
I agree.
Yeah, really good one.
A lot of people don't appreciate how hard those one shots are. People are always, the crew are always going ahead before the shot begins to make sure everything's okay. And then all the people for the crew from the back, that just all the stuff that happened, are setting it back up again just because there could be a fuck up and they have to do it all over again. And you're hoping you get it all in one shot.
Yeah.
And they did a fantastic job.
Do we know how long that take is? I only asked
15 minutes, right? Something
feels
like that.
I only asked because we have a one shot take and it's Me Billy, and it is a minute and 49 seconds tracking shot, and it was complicated, because we're tracking backwards and then we pivot and start moving forwards and following Sam down the stairs, and we shot that 8 times and it was the 8th take we chose.
Wow!
And it took about 3.5 hours to shoot.
Oh shit!
So. Yeah, it was, and shout out to our first assistant camera, our focus puller, Jacqueline DeBacco, who was pulling focus for 1 minute and 49 seconds in the dark. So, and she's a total pro. So yeah, no, they're very difficult for sure. And I believe Marion Singh, who was the lady, the actress who was killed, the knife through the neck. Yeah. I believe she said they shot that 11 times. So. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was like.
I hope they fed that baby.
Yeah, I think it was 11.
To kill
I think it was 11 or 12 times that they did that. I think they had like 2 practice nights before that too, like where they were like trying to get everything all like perfect, and then the shoot night, I think it took them like 11 or 12 times to get done.
It's amazing when you realize what goes into it. I mean, because everything has to be lit accordingly, especially when you're moving from one spot to the next. Like in Billy, I mean, we were lighting 2 levels and 3 sides of the house. And because our character is moving through the space, all the lighting has to be, accounted for. It has to look like it's coming from the same light source, which of course is the moon. So our team was just, I mean, we started shooting that at probably around 7:00 at night, but our team was setting that up at about, 3:00 in the afternoon. And it takes a long time, and then of course you have to run a couple rehearsals, right? So, and of course their one-er shot is from in a house, out the door, across the street. I mean, you have to light all that. It's got to be consistent. So it takes a lot of work. Yeah, for sure. It's not easy.
Awesome stuff. James, your number 4.
The ending of H2O. You see, like, you watch Freddy versus, not Freddy versus Jason. What the fuck am I saying? Freddy's dead. You see Jason goes to hell, and you see all these shitty ass finales. They kill Freddy, the final, Freddy's dead, the final chapter, whatever the fuck they call it, final nightmare, and then they blow him up with TNT, and that's supposed to be the fucking finale. That's supposed to be it.
It's starting to sound like me, James.
Then you watch Jason goes to hell, and he's being pulled down by big ass arms, and it's really fucking stupid. But then you watch this film, and they had the balls. At least we thought they had the balls to cut off the dude's head, and it's like that's the end of it. Now I didn't like the hand touching bullshit like that. We could do like completely without, but the second she just swings back and just knocks his fucking head off, and then the Halloween score kicks in, the main theme, and it's like that's it. Like you can't come back from that. The studios they're not going to do that. It's not possible. And then Resurrection comes out in 2002.
Oh, it's possible. Michael got buck naked and changed clothes with a paramedic.
He gets naked a lot, doesn't he?
He loves to get nude. He loves nude. He's a nudist, really, at the end of the day.
I love that finale, though.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good pick.
Frank, number 3.
My number 3 is from Halloween 2. It's not the hot tub scene.
Hot tub, that's a whole other thing.
It is Michael revealing himself under the red light when Laurie starts going to the entrance to let me finish, damn it. When
I had this.
She's running. We all have it. Exactly,
I like
Barry's
little touch.
Exactly. This is the essence of Michael. He may not know where you are, but you will reveal yourself to him. He'll be patient. He'll sit there. He will. In the red light district. Mm-hmm. He didn't know where Laurie was, probably. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But Laurie made the mistake of revealing herself, and he's like, got you, bitch. And that's the essence of Michael. We all the other slashers, in my eyes, are all just hack and slash. Let's run right to him and kill him and chase. Michael's patient, and he'll sit there and wait till the end of time, and maybe toy with you a little bit and kill you. But yeah, that one part where it's like nice and calm. She's crawling. She's probably coming out of that drug-induced, phase that she's in. Gets up, starts walking a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom! You hear that bang, and there he is, revealing himself underneath the red light and walking towards Laurie. For me as a kid, that was scary and thrilling at the same time. That he knew just to wait, and she will reveal herself, and he'll go right after her, as he does with all his victims. He's patient.
That's a great choice.
Love it.
The mask looks great. Looks very H1 during that sequence, because obviously it is the same mask. We know that, but it fits Dick Warlock's head a bit differently. But during that sequence, when he's walking across the parking lot into the light, out of the light, into the light, out of the light, looks fantastic. It's a great moment for sure. Probably one of the best moments in that series, or in that film.
Great pick, Frank. Darren, what do you got?
Well, seeing as Frank stole my number 3, I'm gonna quickly, off the top of my head, change to another moment within Halloween 2. I tried to pick moments that weren't the immediate obvious ones. So it's obvious that at some point the some of the more memorable moments in Halloween 1 are going to pop up. And it'd be, I just thought I'd try and think outside of those. And I think there's one moment within Halloween 2, whereas I think that Dick Warlock looks the closest to Nick Castle in terms of the mask. And that's when Nurse Karen is walking towards the hospital, and the door shuts, and you get that reflection in the wing mirror of his face. Now, I know his eyes are on display in this, which is a bit of a shame, but the mask itself almost looks as if Nick Castle's wearing it. The hair's done perfectly with those kind of squiggly bits at the side that are all curled. Just the look at the shape of the mask, it must be the angle they've shot it from, looks perfectly like it's straight out of H1. And for me, that's and again, you get that sting as that that power sting as he becomes visible in the wing mirror of the car. That was my number 3.
That's great. It's a great moment. When I was a kid, I always thought it was a little comical, because I thought when it panned up, or I don't know if it pans, is it pan over? Is it pet out? I can't remember. Anyway, when it reveals, and you hear, boing, I remember thinking, where is he? Is he sitting in the car? Like, is he
the 4-3 of it all.
Right, exactly. And I remember thinking, is he in the car, just sitting in the driver's seat, or is he in the back seat? I don't know where is he anyway? Is he just kind of? Is he in the back seat?
That was the problem, and Frank and I spoke about this recently. There's a few moments in Halloween 1 and 2 that, watching them as a kid on VHS in a 4:3 ratio, you miss a lot of the movie, and one of them is, as you call him, Freddie Mercury, Dave, in Halloween 1. You know, when the camera pans over from the truck to the grass, in the original on TV and on the VHSs, he's not even in shot. So you just don't realize it's just weeds. That's it. So you don't see it. And likewise with the moment I just spoke about, and you just pulled up there, you couldn't see the Dick Warlock in the wing mirror of the car on the 4:3 version. It was just nobody had pan and scanned it at all. It was just left. Moment, thank God for widescreen.
Yeah, it is a great moment though. I like that.
It is.
Barry, you're number 3.
My number 3 is the end sequence to the opening of the original movie set in 1963. So you've got obviously the one take, or supposedly the one take throughout the house, and you don't know who the killer is. You know, we're watching it for the first time, not knowing who the killer is, and then he kills his sister, watches the boyfriend leave the house, and then he comes out, and you just see that reveal where the mask comes off, and his parents are like, "Michael," and you're like, "Wow, that was like a 6-year-old kid that just done all that." It was crazy. And when obviously you're watching it, I watched it as a kid, age 5, 6, 7, whatever, didn't take it in. It wasn't until I was maybe a 10 or 11, I watched it, and I'm like, this is a kid that's just done this, and it was quite powerful back then. And I think if you released a movie like that today, not knowing what it's about, and seeing the first 5 minutes someone killing someone, knowing it's your sister, and then finding out it's a 6-year-old child, you would probably still go, wow, that's quite ballsy. So I think the build up to the sequence was fantastic. Obviously, it's something I'd never seen before with the one take, and then the reveal of who that was made that even sweeter.
That's great.
Another great.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, and I agree with everything you've said.
100%. I don't know why, Barry, but when I see you move and I see your shadow behind you, I'm getting like mad psycho vibes. I've been on a psycho kick lately, so maybe that's
But James, pay attention, because if the shadow moves without Barry, then we know we have a problem.
Like Peter Pan.
That's right, Peter Pan. That's
right. Whoa, what is that? That better be a bottle.
That better be a bottle. It's very phallic. I don't know what's going on.
Jealous.
Good night, everybody. We'll be here all week. All right.
Damn, Barry. Good pick.
There's a good pick.
Great. Number 3.
My number 3 moment is the tracking shot in Halloween 2. When the guy dressed in the cowboy costume, he's listening to the radio. He's listening about the murders that have been going on, and he runs into Michael. I love that entire tracking shot. Myers blends in as he's walking through town. It makes it very easy for him to be able to walk directly to where Laurie Strode is. And I think that the entire scene is great. I think that there are a few moments in Halloween 2 where, I personally think that Dick Warlock walks a little stiff, and unlike Nick Castle did in Halloween 1978. The shot specifically when he's walking down the stairs after, like when he's chasing Laurie in the hospital, I think that he looks a little stiff. But I do think that his walk through town is absolutely awesome. And I think that it looks very much like Nick Castle would be like walking down, heading towards Haddonfield Memorial. Love that shot. And I just think, again, he's able to blend in masterfully because it's Halloween night. Everyone's dressed in costumes. And, I love that moment.
Do you know what I love about that moment as well? Is, like you said, he's walking through town on Halloween. At this point, nobody knows who's killing someone. Whereas in H18, we know who it is, we know who we're looking for, we know what they look like. But in H2, he's just casually walking through town, and nobody cares. Nobody knows who he is. It makes it so eerie as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. And that was Dick Warlock's son too that bumped into him there as well.
Oh. That guy bouncing bothers me though. At the end of that shot, you see, remember that guy in the middle? There's a group of 3 of them, and he's like,
I don't remember that. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, I don't
with this guy.
Like I've actually noticed that every time I watch it. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what's this person doing? Like, you know, like,
I'm in a movie.
Right. Like, oh my god, I'm just gonna do this. I don't know, but yeah,
I like that scene, but the moment that you see him walking across the way, and you see the Haddonfield Memorial sign, I don't like that. Hearing it on the radio would be enough, and then I think you should cut to the next scene. I didn't like the walking across the thing. I just it's full body
across the hospital, like on the.
He walks on the sidewalk.
Signpost.
Oh, walks on the sidewalk. Oh,
it's literally like the very end of the shot.
Yes.
Like when Myers is like walking around the corner, and you can see the sign that says HMH like this way.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand it. It would have been funny if he got to the sign and then he just started taking off running.
doing what he does off screen to get to places super quickly, you know.
There you go. That's right.
Or he could do a John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, like.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know where to go because he can't read, right? I mean, he's.
That would explain why he's in the side of Karen's mirror going, "Whew, I made it."
Yeah. Sitting down, yeah. That's funny. That was good. Yeah, that's a good choice.
All right, Dave, number 3.
My number 3 is I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him and another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. That is my number 3 because I think...
you rehearsed that a couple times.
Well, I say
how many times did you do that before we got on here?
I say it every morning when I get up.
Brush your teeth.
Brush my teeth, in the car, jogging. It's in. I have my headphones on when I'm jogging, and all it is I met him 15 years ago. It's just over and over again. It is my number 3 because this is. I think this has become so iconic and I've talked about this on my own channel as well, but I think this speech, this moment has become so iconic and so overused or not mocked, but, just, made fun of and, in all sorts of fun ways and stuff that I think sometimes we lose sight of what is really being said. And really at the end of the day, everything we need to know about Michael Myers, everything we will ever need to know about Michael Myers is actually said in that speech. And it is, I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding in even the most rudimentary sense, which means simplest, good or evil, life or death, right or wrong, right? So he doesn't have an understanding of the most basic things that you would think that he should. And that really tells us, when you break it down, it tells us that there is no reason he's doing what he's. Again, we're talking about the first film only, because when they made that movie, there was no intention to go on and have a sister and a brother and, all this kind of stuff. So with that first movie, everything was there. There is no motive. There is no reason for why he's doing what he's doing. He is like the wind. The hurricane comes to shore, not because you owe him, you owe the hurricane money. It's just, it tears your house, not because you owe it money. It's just a force of nature. It's not personal. It is what it is. He's a predator. He's a cat. and it just is. And so everything you need to know about him is said in that speech. But I think it's become so oversaid, and we sometimes forget, what is he really saying here anyway? Like, let's listen to what he's actually saying. And it's all there. And of course, I met this 6-year-old child, this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, and it, when you put it all together, it's like, oh, and that's all you need to know. I mean, and like, you really don't need to know anymore. And that's what must be preserved, in my opinion. Once you start explaining everything, then that mystique goes away. And then Michael's just like everybody else. So for me, number 3 is that speech. I think it's more important than we actually realize.
Couldn't agree more. You didn't even need to explain it. All you had to do was read it, and we
shut up, Dave.
We were hypnotized through your eyes, Dave.
Shut up. We get it, okay?
No, that's not what I meant at all.
I'm just teasing you.
Very iconic, obviously, and like it is a little bit overused, like you said, and people probably don't even pay attention. I just think
like we just sometimes forget, because it's said in a very, like, nobody talks like that. Right? Like, nobody talks like that, even Donald Pleasance, I think, was like, well, all right. I think has said something like, I don't understand what I'm saying, but I'll say it anyway. And it's very poetic, very rhythmic. It's got a nice sort of, and sometimes, because it's not really, no one really talks like that, you really kind of have to break it down a little bit and figure out what he actually is saying. And when you do, it's like, oh, like, he's just told you what Michael's all about, So yeah, it's cool.
I can imagine Michael's parents go, "This is our kid's doctor."
Yeah, that's right. Imagine ordering a hamburger. I'll have the thickest hamburger, the juiciest hamburger, whatever it is,
The lettuce must be crisp.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like, everything is so dramatic. That's what it's just very dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good pick. My number 3, we don't need an explanation for everything, but I disagree. My number 3 is the Ghost Mom and the White Horse. I think it's fantastic, and it makes total sense.
Love it.
No, just kidding. Not going there. I'm going to go the ending of Halloween 2, actually. The whole Dr. Loomis willing to sacrifice himself in, obviously, the famous, get out, get out now. That's a great line. Great. Nobody knows what the fuck he's Floyd don't know what the fuck he's saying. It's enjoyable to listen to. And then Michael looks very menacing right there whenever he just turns real quick and looks at Dr. Loomis and stabs him with the scalpel real quick. He looked pretty badass right there. And the fact that Laurie is a marksman and can shoot somebody in both eyes is pretty impressive. I can't do that, but she did. But you can look past that part, but that was fantastic too. And the fact that he sacrificed himself, he would do anything to prevent the evil from getting out and killing even more people. So he tried to sacrifice himself. Obviously, after Halloween 2, we probably did think it was the end. They show Myers burning. Obviously, you're assuming Loomis is blown to a bajillion pieces. So you think that is the end. There's not going to be any more. But, of course, that's not how these things work. We all know that by now. But back then, the meaning of that was amazing. Self-sacrifice to stop the reign of this evil and hopefully put it to bed. So it's a fantastic scene. I do love the ending of Halloween 2. So that's why I got it at number 3.
Great choice. And how about, him walking down the hallway on fire? I mean, just fucking iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So awesome. It's such an awesome, I mean, you can tell he's got a fire retardant, suit on, he's a little heavy, looks a little chunky, but I mean, you can forgive that because everything around it is just so awesome, Yeah, I agree. Great choice.
All right, James.
Dave took it, he said everything I was going to say and a hell of a lot more. And he memorizes the fucking quote too. I don't memorize the quote, but I know a majority of it. But anyways, and then when the score kicks in, it just, you hang on every word that Donald Pleasance says or Dr. Loomis says, and you kind of, it almost paints a picture for you. You can actually almost imagine this, and you're almost thinking in your mind, like, are we actually dealing with a man here, or is this more than a man? The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. What the you're fucking crazy. Are you crazier than Michael? But yeah, like Dave said, I mean, it's it was hard for me not to make this like my number one, just because of how iconic it is. Is it overused, oversaturated here and there? It can be, depends how you look at it, but it's iconic as fuck, and it's one of the greatest quotes in American cinema.
And to James's point, he's right when he says, like, what are we dealing with here? What's going on? It instills that into the audience, because you also have to remember that what's so great about it is not just what he's saying, and that's all, it's all great, but is that we forget too that he's a man of science. He's a psychiatrist. So for a psychiatrist to be saying this, you know what I mean? It's what has been his arc? What has been his journey? Because he wouldn't have started out that way, meeting a 6-year-old child going, "Oh my God, it's the devil." He wouldn't have done that, right? It's that I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up. So I think that 8 years was when it was, and then after that, it's like, fuck, we're not dealing with, a human here. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing for somebody in his position to do. So James is right. It's freaky.
Yeah, very much so.
Great stuff. Frank, number 2.
My number 2 is from Halloween 4, and the one scene I look forward to in this movie, and I'm going to do my best Loomis impression, and it's this. 6 body, Sheriff, between here and Ridgemont. That's what I seen. A filling station in flames. I tell you, Michael Myers is here in this town, and he's here to kill that little girl and anyone who gets in his way.
That was good.
That part, and then when Meeker,
the beard made it better.
Yeah, for real.
In the head. I just don't have the nipple on my side of my face. It's that part where, and also with Meeker almost believing him, because remember, Brackett didn't believe him until he found his dead daughter. Well, shame on you. But it's that part where he tells Meeker, "This is what's going to happen, and I'll prove it to you because this is what I've seen." And guess what? It's coming, and I need your help. And Meeker going along with him and just saying, "How do we prevent a repeat of what happened 10 years ago?" Right. I mean, that just brings me chills. How Loomis went crazy. And that's the time he goes nuts, is right there. Is anytime, Dave has done plenty of skits about this. Anytime a sheriff or a cop doesn't believe him, he gets nuts.
Oh, he gets crazy.
He gets nuts. He's like, "No one's fucking believing me. Fine, I'm out of here."
Oh, yeah.
Deal with it on your own.
It's the alcohol, Frank.
It's the alcohol, yeah. But that one scene I look forward to out of Halloween 4 the most is that one. That's the one scene.
Great choice.
Another great. Good job. Darren, number 2.
So, my second to last choice would be the 2 shots that we get from Tommy Doyle's perspective in the original Halloween when he's looking through the blinds. So the first one being the sort of silhouette on the side of the Wallace house. As I think it's when Michael's... Is he spying on Annie at that point? I can't remember now. He's peeing. Yeah, that's it. But no,
Tommy's like, I wonder if Annie's naked.
Yeah. As a kid, because I was probably around when I saw Halloween, I was probably around the same age as Tommy Doyle, and I just thought it was such an eerie image, just that shadow on the side of the wall. Which, did somebody once say that it's actually Deborah Hill that stood there?
Deborah Hill, yeah.
It's Deborah Hill, yeah. Kind of takes the shine off it a little, I guess, doesn't it? But
nice ass.
But I think it was also. I mean, when you look at the VHS cover or the poster for Psycho 2. With Norman Bates looking up at the house. It's a very similar sort of image. It looks like they've kind of, taken some inspiration from that shot in Halloween. But the second shot is when he looks out and he can see Michael carrying Annie into the house. Now, I remember you saying last week, Dave, when we were chatting, that, you don't need to see Michael's process at all. And I think this is...
Process being vulnerable. being vulnerable. He's not vulnerable there. He's totally in control.
No, he's not vulnerable, but there's rarely a moment within the rest of the franchise whereas you actually see him doing a setup. That's what he's doing at that point. He's actually setting up, for another part of the movie later on. And I can't think of any moment within the franchise where we see him do that. Bodies pop out from windows and walls and doors and floors throughout the whole franchise, but we never actually see him in any, setting any of that stuff up.
Yeah.
And this is the only one shot that I guess qualifies as a kind of setup for a later scene where, a body's going to be revealed.
That's a good point. And two great choices. And yeah, it is freaky. I've always thought it was freaky too, both shots, especially seeing him carrying Annie into the house. I mean, imagine, of course it's Halloween. I think it could be explained, but imagine looking out your window, at 11 o'clock.
Do you think that was Deborah Hill as well, carrying
I think it was. Yes, it was.
Yep. It was Tony Moran. Come on.
It was.
Yeah, it was Tony.
Moran. It was Tony Moran. Yeah, it was. No, those shots are amazing. They are. I could have easily had. I don't, but I could have easily had them. They're amazing.
Another good choice. Barry, number 2.
Well, that leads us on nicely to my number 2 because mine is a similar view, and that's when Laurie is running away from Michael from the house, and Michael starts off in the background, and then he's making his way across while she's banging the door saying, Tommy, open up. Yeah. That scene, I guess it's all thanks to Dean Cundy, but the cinematography in that scene, just seeing Michael in the background coming towards her, not knowing if she's going to get in time. Obviously, we know she's going to get in on time. That's a classic horror movie. But her not knowing if she's going to get in time, if Tommy's going to open up the door. And you get a kind of a jump inside you when you watch that. And when she finally gets in, closes the door, you still get that feeling that Michael's going to bash through, and he doesn't. But it's just the dread and the thought going from one side of the street to the other is scary enough, but the way that they showed it in the movie was fantastic. So scary. One of the best scenes in that film. And again, it's mostly all thanks to the way that was shot because it was beautiful.
It is amazing. You know what is so great about that shot too is, like, we know obviously it was shot in the spring, so it's not fall, and we do know that they had some fans on. Now, I don't know about this specific moment. They may have been able to do this because it was a windy night, but I don't think it was. We know that some fans were on set to create sort of the leaves blowing across the ground, that kind of stuff, and there were fake leaves that they painted or real leaves that they got and they painted whatever, right? So we know all that, but the shot, as Barry is alluding to, when she looks back and I think it's when he steps off the curb. He steps off the curb and there's a little bit of a wobble, almost like he's like, oh shit, because he's in the mask, right? So he's probably like, oh good, I got that. But it's fine, like it looks okay. But he steps off the curb, I think it's this, and he's continuing to walk, and you see a few leaves blowing in the air, like go right past the camera. And it's just that subtle detail that adds so much to the feeling of, this is Halloween, it's fall, it's windy, the leaves are blowing. And it doesn't look like it's something that you do, you just throw leaves into the frame, you know what I mean? I mean, it really does look
Robert Englund off camera.
It's Robert Englund off camera, just throwing the leaves into the frame, and then he goes home and he gets Mark Hamill the audition for Luke Skywalker. So it's one of those things where it's just that detail, you know what I mean? Where you just, as he's walking and he's almost at the camera, but you see like a couple of leaves go by, and it's just like, oh, that's so good. Like, that's such a nice moment. I agree with Barry totally.
Yeah.
Good choice. Braden, number 2.
My number 2 is when Laurie gets home from school and sees Michael standing in the sheets in Mr.
Classic.
Elrod's backyard. It's
Riddle,
Mr. Riddle's.
Elrod's 87.
Yeah, in Mr. Riddle's backyard. Absolutely love that, because it's just like how quickly he disappears. It's like, was he there? Did she not see him? It's the essence of Michael Myers being there and then not being there. And it's just such a chilling shot. I just remember I would always come home from school after I saw Halloween for the very first time, and literally would always be terrified to look out my window, see somebody, and then not see them. I mean, Michael Myers was the first slasher that really terrified me, and I think it was because he was just able do what he does, and just those heavy breaths that you always hear of him. And just that shot is absolutely amazing. I think that it really defines the character of Michael Myers. And yeah,
that's a great moment. You know what? I know I keep speaking up here, but I get excited when you guys talk. What I love about that moment that Braden is talking about, what makes that moment is, yeah, he's there and he's not there. But what really makes that moment is, can you guys guess? What really makes that moment work?
The music?
Well, the music. Sorry?
The phone ringing?
No, it's that Laurie doesn't look away.
That's weird. Yeah.
So she's looking at him, and then we see Laurie, and then we look back and he's gone. Look. We don't see Laurie go like this and then look back to give him time to move. You know what I mean? She's just, it's as if he dematerializes right in front of her face.
Right.
And that's why that works so well. I love that. Anyway, sorry guys. I know I just get excited listening to you guys talk.
It was actually Steve Todd though.
It was actually who?
Steve Todd.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It actually was
Todd
Mr. Riddle.
Staring at you.
Yeah. I tell you, I want a Riddle spinoff.
David Copperfield.
Oh God, Terror Train.
Dave, you're number 2.
Oh shit, it's me again. No, so my number 2 would be this is the it's the sit up behind Laurie. It's a little cliche, but it's such an amazing moment, and I've said it before on my own channel. I think why that moment works so well too is the creative choice not to pull focus. So Michael sits up behind Laurie and does the head turn, and you hear bump, bump, bump. And you could have easily have pulled focus there to, kind of change the focus from Laurie to Michael. And you sometimes see that in films, right? Where they're like, da-da-da, and they don't do that. They just leave. I mean, he's not completely out of focus. It's a very soft focus. I mean, but he's in the background and it's not important. And, but he just sits up, and the way he sits up, I've seen a lot of cosplayers. I've seen a lot of people dress like Michael. I've seen a lot of people in certain fan films and things like that do it. And, some are not bad, but more often than not, people don't get it right. There's a very specific, way you got to do it. You don't just kind of throw yourself up like and turn over like this, like an H2o. But it's just the way how graceful and robotic in all the positive ways that Nick Castle was when he just sat up and, he didn't turn his body. It's just the head like this, and it's not a full on like this. It's just very subtle, it just turns like this. It's just so great. It's so, I mean, now, we're desensitized to all this stuff, and horror has evolved. And, if you see that in a movie today, kids would be like, oh, whatever, but I mean, in 1978, I mean, geez, that would have been, I wasn't born till the following year. So, but I would have loved to have been able to be in the theater seeing that. And everybody would have been like, oh my God. Well, I mean, there's a recording of it, I think, on YouTube of that moment of an audience reaction, and they're going crazy, like absolutely bonkers, you know what I mean? And it's just, that would have been so awesome. So that's my number 2. I think it's just a oh my God, no way. I love it.
There was a fan film, I remember sending you this, Dave, a few years ago. There was a fan film which was commissioned, which was a sequel to Halloween Resurrection, I believe. Yeah. And they actually got Tony Moran to play Michael Myers as he is now.
Sit up, dude. No.
And he's lying on a gurney in the hospital, and he tries to do that sit up with his big belly and all that kind of thing. It just doesn't work at all.
No, it
doesn't. It's like his legs lift up as he's trying to do it, and
it did look. Listen, like we always say, right? Making movies is hard, and it's not easy. But from a creative standpoint, I know it's Tony Moran, and I know that but it's like. You as a director, as a filmmaker, have to go, well, this just doesn't look good, unless they thought it did and they didn't care. But for me, if I had seen that, I'd be like, hey, it's Tony Moran, and this is really cool, and he's gonna be in our movie, and this just doesn't look good. And I've been like, and we got to do something different here. Maybe we shoot not from the side, but behind his feet, maybe, so we just kind of see him sit up, and we don't see much
and
of
tie them down as well.
You know, yeah, and tie them down. That's right. Yeah, no, I do remember that. But it's not easy. I mean, doing the sit up and it's not easy. It can be tricky, especially if you're not used to, you know, sitting up like that and putting all your weight into it, right? But
I was going to say that's why you got to really applaud James Jude Courtney from H18. He honestly, I think he does it incredibly, or not incredibly accurately, but he does it the most accurate that it could have been.
I know Barry is shaking his head, and so is Darren. That's actually not James Jude Courtney.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's actually Aaron Armstrong, I believe.
See, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know, like, you know, that's interesting. I didn't.
From what I think, I believe so. And Aaron Armstrong is the same guy who's playing Michael Myers in the flashback in H Kills. So I believe he's a stunt guy as well, and younger, obviously. And I guess they felt, well, instead of throwing 61-year-old James down the stairs, why don't we throw, you know, 40-year-old Aaron down the stairs? Yeah. So I think that's probably what the choice was. And I believe that
because Tony was unavailable.
Yep. Because Tony Moran was unavailable. That's right.
Wasn't Aaron a part of a fan film like many years ago? A Halloween fan film?
He was, yeah. I think you're right.
Myers.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Full circle right there.
Yeah. I truly do believe you learn something new every single day, even if it's about Halloween. And look at that. I learned
look at that. There you go. But the point that Braden is making is absolutely correct. It's a hell of a sit-up. It's just like he shoots right up. Like he's like fucking I want to see his abs, you know. You know, like I don't think I could sit up that quick. Holy shit.
So
anyway, who's next?
Matt, just let you know when you're typing into the comment section, it's coming up as me.
That's how it works.
You said "Oh Keys" and someone said "Oh Paul." I give you
connected. It's because I set it up with both of our channels, so that's why.
Oh, yes, that's right.
You and me. That's why. He didn't say that, everybody. It was just me. So if anything types in there, it's me, not him.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, I give you all. It's getting real sexual.
Oh yeah. My number 2, I got to go with when Laurie discovers Annie in the upstairs. Whenever she discovers Annie, the tombstone, conveniently the door somehow flies open that Michael rigged conveniently to open up. That's fantastic. And then when she obviously in the famous shot when she backs up into the hallway and the blue light comes on and you see Myers' face. You didn't know where he was the entire time until she backed up against there, and you see it in the blue light, and his mask looks amazing, and he's really bad at stabbing because he misses her completely and hits her in the arm. But we'll accept it. And then from then on, the fall down the stairs and the chase and everything associated with it. The keys that she fucking had and then conveniently she didn't have because they must have fell out of her pocket when she flipped over. But we'll accept it. But that whole scene right there, that's what I look forward to when I watch Halloween 78. It never gets old. The way Myers, he's a machine. He's there to kill her, and that's what he's. And then the neighbor's an asshole because he won't open the door. But in 2018, when Allison's knocking on the door, they got the whole fucking neighborhood outside. But I guess different times, I guess. But,
well, his wife was there, and he realized that he knew Laurie and didn't want to open the door for her. No, I have no evidence of that. I'm just bullshitting you.
It's a good point, though. It could be. No, he could be sleeping with her. We don't know. We
don't know. I mean, who knows? Laurie, virgin. I don't know.
That's a scam. She's not. It's a scam.
That's right. Yeah,
that whole scene right there.
I always love that scene, like when she runs across the street, she takes the pot, throws it up, and like Tommy literally just goes like, yeah, like like she's screaming in horror. He's been talking about the boogeyman all night, and she's screaming in horror. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna
No, you wait. You didn't believe me. You wait.
yeah, exactly, Frank. Right? It's so dismissive. It's so dismissive. It's like, Tommy, open the door. It's me. Yeah. Tommy, please. Yeah, no, that is a great moment, Matt.
I told you all night.
It's the payoff.
Yep. You're gonna wake Lindsay.
That's right. It's Lindsay. Where is Lindsay at that
Weren't
point?
they sleeping together?
They were.
See?
Tommy was just rated. Just
Lord,
get
you
there.
asshole.
Yeah.
Worst time.
That's a great moment. That's the payoff, because like the film is largely a slow burn, right? With really nice sort of moments, and then there's this chase scene, which is great. It's payoff. Yep, great choice, man.
James, number 2.
The ending of Halloween 4. Seeing Jamie Lloyd at the top of the stairs with the pair of scissors, and then you see fucking Dr. Loomis, dude, ready to just shoot her ass, bro. Like he was ready to fucking end her, bro. And that's pretty fucking intense, to be honest. He puts Sheriff Meeker had to stop him. He was gonna blow a hole right through her, and I think he was so scared and he was crying and it was so real to him. Like, this is never gonna stop. This is never gonna end. Like this evil never dies, and it was a really powerful moment. And of course, how Halloween 5 happened, and it's a good moment though.
It is a great moment. Obviously, it was my number 5. James, how would you all feel if he actually unloaded on James? Can you imagine that's how the film ends? No! And Jamie's going, it's like, no! And it cuts to black, and that's it. Like, holy shit.
I'm not going to lie, Dave, to your point, I honestly think that if he was going to unload, I think that if it literally just if he's getting ready to point the gun and then it just cuts to black and you just hear the bullets just cuts to black.
Wow.
That I think would be pretty effective too.
It would.
Or
would.
A full-on H2o Moment with Daniel Harris. Right. It just doesn't stop firing.
It's unleashed, or it's just one shot right to the middle of the head. And then she stands there for a moment and just falls forward down the stairs, right at his feet, and it's like oh, I've killed her. Then it just cuts to black, and that's it.
You hear the squeak in her red nose as the bullet goes through it.
I can literally just see this group of guys in a room trying to come up with this ending of Halloween 4.
Oh, that'd be so great. I'd take it.
I like that.
Sold. Let's go ahead and shoot it.
Good pick, but I like
slow motion there.
Yep, slow motion, of course. Shot and rolling down the stairs.
Very Rob Zombie.
The clown nose.
I like that. Good ending.
Well, we'll reach out to Danielle, see if she wants to recreate it for fun.
I hope so. I doubt it, but we could hope. Frank, number 1.
So I have to give love to H18 because we're looking forward to what's coming out next week. And that is going to be the one moment in this movie that actually made me believe in the Shape of Old. And that's Oscar's death scene as he's going back and forth in Mr. Elrod's yard with the motion light. It is absolutely suspenseful. It is what Michael is all about, and I hope we see that again in Kills, but hopefully maybe it ends because the title of Kills doesn't really allude to much stalking.
No.
Yeah, so it's
one of the
Oscar's
better
death.
moments in 18. Yep.
Good pick. I like that one. I don't think that's the only time in that whole movie that he's mysterious, because the rest of the time he's kind of just there in your face. But that one, is he there? Is he not there? How did he shut the light off? He's very inhumanly still, obviously, because any kind of flinch is going to turn that on. So
fucking quick too.
He flies.
Just trying to take a pretty girl home. That's all I'm trying to do.
Oscar the rapist.
Like that?
Yeah, He's drunk.
He was all chubbed up.
This fucker.
He was.
Disgusting.
He was.
Darren, number 1.
You see, I had 2, but one was mentioned already. I was going to talk about the Dick Warlock fire stunt, which I just think is stunning.
Was that Dick actually walking? Was it him?
Yeah,
in the
he
scene?
actually did it.
He actually did it. Right? Wow.
Yeah. It's. I don't think I've ever seen anybody on film on fire as intensely as that before.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, you can look at, you know, some of the stunts they did in Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason, where their backs are on fire, but this is a full engulfing, and you know, it to me it just looks. I mean, you can tell, like you said earlier, that he's got a suit on and there's big gloves there, and you know, but it's every inch of him that's burning. And I can't recall a stunt that I've seen where it's kind of that intense before. So that was what I was going to talk about originally. But I think my actual final choice would have to be the "You Can't Kill the Boogeyman" scene, because, you know, that line's now become sort of synonymous with the franchise. And just that shot, you know, and again, it's another scene that didn't really come to life until we had widescreen, because with a 4:3 version back in the 80s, you couldn't appreciate the fact that he was walking up the stairs. You could hear maybe the breathing a little bit, but you couldn't see the shadow of him walking up the stairs behind them. And it's such a pivotal moment as well for a few reasons. I mean, you know, it's the moment where Jamie Lee Curtis all of a sudden has to assert herself and become protector to the kids. You know, she has to, she really kicks into gear here. I think up until that point, she's mainly been kind of screaming and falling all over the place. And it's that point where she has to make decisions as to how she's going to, you know, save the kids. And that kind of quick Dean Cundey camera movement to get him in frame, and almost make you feel like, almost like the cameraman's frightened as well. The way he moves the camera, it kind of jolts a bit as he moves it to get the shape into frame. It's an amazing shot, and obviously the score kicks in then, and you know the rest is on the screen. But yeah, I just think that moment, and poor old Brian Andrews, it's really sad of what's happened to him over the last God knows how many years. But you know, he said that line, and you know, he needs to own that. That's fantastic, because even to this day, they're using that line on T-shirts, on posters, with the new films, with everything. You know, you get John Carpenter writing it as his signature, and you know, it's just a fantastic moment, I think, in the franchise.
Yep, agreed. It's great.
100%. I love that there's no music. You could see him coming up. It's almost like it's real life.
Yeah.
Before it actually see him in full frame and clear view, then the music hits, and it's like, okay, now the chase is on.
Well, yeah, and it's so sudden, and there they actually do pull focus right from Laurie right to behind her. It's a quick pull. And he looks great. It's one of the best. That whole sequence is one of the best looking shots of Nick Castle as Michael Myers, and as she's trying to tie the thing around the door and go into the closet, and we keep cutting back to him as he's slowly walking down the hall, and we're sort of low and we're looking up at him as he's getting darker and darker, more ominous and ominous. I mean, it is when I watch Halloween for the first time with somebody who's never seen Halloween, that's one of the moments that I watch them watch that. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
How there's like a movie you love and you're showing it to, like, the girl that's new in your life or something, or your buddy that's never seen or whatever, right? And you spend more time watching them watch the moments that like affect you. You know what I mean? And that's one of the moments where I'm like,
it's like you just sit there and like you geek out and you're just like waiting for their reaction.
Right.
Oh
you want them to go, oh, he looks so cool.
Why are you sleeping through this?
Right. Oh, come on, man. No, it's one of my favorite. I mean, I actually, when I met Nick Castle a few years ago, he that was the photo that I had him sign. Was of that moment, and it's cool. It says I don't know if Dave is in there. I think it says to the voice man. No, it says to Dave McRae, the voice man, Nick Castle, the shape. And it's just it's a cool, and he had a ton of photos, right? But that's the one I chose because that's arguably one of the most iconic photos of that character. So I agree with Darren. It's awesome.
Great pick. Barry, you're number one.
Well, this may be an anticlimactic choice for you guys. Now, it's not the greatest looking shot, that I'm going to choose. I'm a photographer and I love my cinematography in films. I love the depth of field. I love all that kind of stuff. I love the lighting, the mood, and the atmosphere, as Dave would say. But unfortunately,
the what?
The mood and the atmosphere.
I'm just mood and atmosphere. I'm just kidding. Go on.
Yeah. So this shot doesn't feature any of that, but what it does feature is one of the most ballsy moments in the whole entire franchise, and it's one some of you have said before, and that is the H2o finale, the head chopping scene in Halloween H2o. And again, the movie might not be good for some people, but for them to do that, and they meant it at the time anyway, for them to chop Michael Myers' head off, not a paramedic, not an EMT, Michael Myers, for them to do that, to confirm the ending of that movie was crazy, but they'd done it. And at the time, when you watch it, you're like, wow, how else could you end a series better than Halloween H2O? I don't think it can be done. Obviously, we've not seen Halloween Ends yet, but when we think about Halloween Ends, what are they going to be able to do if they're ending Michael Myers? What can they do that can top the ending of H2O? And it takes me back to my other choice with H2O. They couldn't top the face-to-face reunion after 20 years with Halloween 2018. So how are they going to top the ending of Halloween Ends? If they do, then fantastic, but I don't think they can. And I think because of the purpose and the meaning of the end of H2O, that's why it's my number one. Like I said, it's not beautifully shot. It's very Hollywood lit. It's very cliche. It's very late 90s. But the late 90s is nostalgic for me. You know, when we watched Halloween H2O back in 1998, we looked at Halloween from 1970 as a nostalgic movie. It's 20 years old. But now I'm looking back on H2O as people back then look back on Halloween, you know? So they've got that connection with Halloween in 98. I've got that connection with H2O in 2018 onwards. So it has its flaws, but so did Halloween in 1978. We're only appreciating it now and back in 98 for what it created. And that's the way I feel about H2O. It's not the best in the series. I don't think it is the best in the series, but the finale can't be topped, and that is why it's my number one.
Well said. Well said.
Loved it.
Yep. Very cool.
Cheers.
All right. Braden, number one.
I gotta say, I had a pretty hard time choosing what a number one was gonna be, but I landed on this is a moment that terrified me as a kid, but I also loved it, and it was Linda's death in Halloween 1978 when the Shape is walking up and he's got the sheet over him. It's like you hear the bump, bum, and it's like as he's coming up in the background, and Laurie hears Linda getting choked. Love that entire sequence. Think that it's absolutely amazing. And then it cuts to that close up and you see Michael Myers' mask for the very first time when he puts the phone up to his ear and he's hearing Laurie's voice and she's like, hello, like you better not be screwing around or anything like that. And it's so iconic. And I love that. And the way that the lighting looks on Michael's face throughout that entire, shot, how it's just sitting there and you could just hear or not even hear him, you see him just listening to Laurie over the phone. I love that so much.
Great choice.
Another great choice.
Boobs help.
The blue hue is over his face as well.
Can I get your ghost, Braden?
See anything you like?
No.
I'm sitting there and it's always the worst. It's I'd be sitting there watching it growing up and it's my parents would walk in and that would be the exact scene because it's
right.
Parents don't walk in on the scenes where Michael is killing anybody. They walk in on when the boobs and the ass is all out and stuff like
that.
I'm on pause.
Parents walking
naked Freddie Mercury.
Nothing. Get out.
Freddie Mercury. Another one bites the dust.
So that's my number one moment for a lot of choices.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's a good moment.
Dave, number one.
Oh man.
H2O.
Well, in Resurrection, no. So I was going to choose the same thing that Darren chose. Actually, was going to be my number one for all the reasons that I quickly said after Darren said it, because I wanted to get it in there, because I know it's like, oh, maybe I could change it up a little bit. I mean, it really is my number one. Really is. It's such an iconic moment. There isn't really anything I can elaborate on with what I just said and what Darren said. However, just to make it interesting and fun, my number one today will be the very end of the original film, when it's brought all home. And you know, when Laurie is in the closet, Michael's been shot 6 times. He's fallen off the balcony, and she says, "It was the boogeyman." And Dr. Loomis looks and goes, "As a matter of fact, it was." And we know now, of course, that it was the boogeyman. You have to think of it more like she says, "'Twas the boogeyman." She's not saying, "Was it the boogeyman?" She's not saying that was the boogeyman. She actually is saying it was the boogeyman. That's why you hear "was the boogeyman." That's why the emphasis is on "was." She just said it under her breath. She did say it very much like "'twas the boogeyman." It's said like that. Jamie's confirmed this. It's in the script, in the original script. So she says that, and that makes sense because her arc is complete now, right? She's learned, because she didn't believe in the boogeyman, and this was supposed to be a one and done film. So her character has an arc even in that movie, a beginning, middle, and an end. And her arc is she doesn't believe in the boogeyman. There's no such thing. Laurie, what's the boogeyman? There's no such thing, Tommy. And then by the end of the movie, she's like, "Oh my God, Tommy was right. It was the boogeyman." And Dr. Loomis, this weird guy who saved her, turns and goes, "As a matter of fact, it was." And then he goes and looks over the balcony, and he's gone. And then, of course, he plays it famously, as John Carpenter has said, there's 2 ways you can play it, "Oh my God, he's gone. Oh my God." You know what I mean? Or that would have been funny. "Oh my God." I mean, oh, okay. He's freaking out. But he could have played it that way, and he didn't. He played it I knew this would happen, right? And it's brilliant, and it's such what a great way to end that film. And then, of course, the shots of the different locations, and slowly comes in, and then it just ends on the Myers house, cuts to black, Halloween. I think that whole sort of ending, it brings everything home. Once you realize she actually is saying it was the boogeyman, it kind of makes you go, "Oh, right. Okay, now the whole thing makes sense. Was that the boogeyman? Why is she still asking?" No, it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I think by now she'd probably, so once that was confirmed a few years ago, because Jamie confirmed it at I think it was the 30th convention or something. I think it was 2012 or 30 or 25th or something, where the one that she was at, the one where it was the night she came home, that whole
Whorehound
doc, whatever. Yeah, something like that in Indianapolis, I think it was, or something like that. 2012, I think it was. She confirmed it there, and because she was like, "I say it was the boogeyman." What are people arguing about this? I don't get it. That's what I said. And sure enough, it's in the script. Even though it does kind of get lost in the performance. But that for me it just brings everything home. And then it leaves it like, "Oh my God, he's still out there forever. Evil never dies." It's cool. It's great stuff. That's my number one.
Great pick.
Cool.
Great. So that is also my number one, but what else am I going to say?
Own it, baby. Yes.
That you already didn't say. I mean, I was really going to go with I got peanut butter on my penis, but
hey, who doesn't like peanut butter on their penis?
It happens. It happens.
I will crawl over there and I'll skull fuck the shit out of you.
That's your favorite
I'm
one,
telling you. That with
Could
peanut
I just
butter
ask,
on the penis.
and I don't know how Barry feels about this either, but when I saw that H18 and he said that line, people just laughed where I saw it, and I laughed as well. It seems to be that American audiences have a problem with it.
No, we all jumped.
Oh my!
What is peanut butter?
Oh dear!
On your penis?
Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know what it is? It's the word penis. Nobody says that.
True.
Nobody's like, "Oh shit, I hurt my penis." Like nobody, and I think it's more. I think it came as a surprise. I know that's what it's actually called, but
his young daughter was there though.
Right, but it just seems like a weird thing for this father to say. Like, so you got peanut butter on your penis. You don't have to announce it. You know, you could just go, oh, geez, I got some peanut butter on me. I mean, if I had a child, I mean, I wouldn't be in the kitchen going, oh, hang on a sec, honey, I got peanut butter on my penis. You know? I mean, I would just say, oh, I got peanut butter on myself. Hang on a sec, I need to wipe this off, whatever. I don't know.
That's not as bad. Imagine the daughter saying, I'll get that for you, Dad.
That would have been weird. But no, I definitely think that it was the shock factor of it, because it's like, you know, it looked like he was wearing jeans, so like I thought he was just gonna be like, oh, I got it on my jeans. When he said the word penis, it like I was just like, wait, what? I was like, what?
I know.
Like,
I know.
Are we in sixth grade?
I mean, yeah. Objectively, I like it. It's funny, yes, but it's clearly a Danny McBride line, you know, and it just doesn't. It doesn't belong there. I mean, for me, it's like up there with the cops. Boom, bitty, boom, you know, it's just wing. Yeah, wing. Sorry, Barry, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying it's a dad joke. I wouldn't say that to my daughter, but she's 18 or she's 17, and I think he's just trying to embarrass her, and it's a kind of off the cuff dad joke.
Yeah, it feels like he's saying it to himself. It feels like he's going, "Oh, peanut butter on my penis." Like he's saying it to himself. You know,
maybe it's a cultural thing or something. I didn't see that there was a big issue with it at all. I saw it like Barry saw it.
It's juvenile.
You call trucks lorries.
It's juvenile
so
jokes.
Matter.
Yeah.
Dave, it's English, buddy.
It's totally true.
Oh man, peanut butter on my penis happens.
So that's your number one then, Matt? Yeah.
Yep, peanut butter on my penis, number one. No doubt about it.
I love it.
But yeah, definitely the ending of the original Halloween '78. Like Dave already said, brings everything full circle. It was the boogeyman because she didn't believe Tommy the entire time. What I mean, he was reading Neutron Man, Tarantula Man. What about the boogeyman? There's no real. Shut the fuck up, Tommy. Let's go carve a pumpkin. Make some popcorn. Inside her heart.
That was the other take they didn't use.
Yeah. Lori, relax. Inside, she knew. I think she knew inside. She just didn't want to believe it. And then once the ending happened, she had to believe it because she just witnessed him get shot 6 times off the balcony, and he's no longer there. So he's more than human, and now she believes it. So, like you said, full circle. Great way to end the original film.
You know, I will say, Fauci, I think that, you know, when she starts to believe it, I think that the reason the cinematography is so good, like towards that big finale, is like when she's walking across the street and she's, you know, like flipping the keys in her hand and she's walking up to what do you call it, the Wallace's house, and it's like she knows that something's wrong, but like the score, like how it's like, you know, building as she's like, you know, walking across the street, and it like keeps cutting like from her to her approaching the house. And, you know, we know something's up, but, you know, she also has to know something's up because she tried to call. Nobody answered. They're her friends, right? Like they would normally answer if like they knew something was up or whatever. Right. So just that whole like build up to that finale, I just think it's amazing. So, you know, I totally agree, you know, that at the end when she does believe in the boogeyman, like that whole build up to her becoming like the coming of belief is all there. So
that's it. That's it. And then Loomis's lapels change in the next
movie. Don't get Darren started.
James, you're number one.
I'm gonna go with what Braden said. You know, leading up to the part where he strangles Linda and everything, but the moment he picks up the phone and he puts it to his ear, and you kind of see the movement of his head to it. It's like the way I like to look at it is that he heard her voice for the first time. You know, when he heard Linda's and Annie's voice, I mean, he had heard their voices prior to him killing them, but now he finally heard Lori, because I can't remember a moment in this movie prior to this moment where he actually heard her. Now when he's behind the hedge, Lori whispers over to Annie. She's not talking out loud. When Annie's like, "Hey, jerk, speed kills," and he stops the car, and then he pulls away, and then you're gonna get all of us in big trouble, Annie. He never hears her voice, and then that moment he hears her voice, you can just see his movements, like almost like he's fucking aroused or something. It's weird, like he's like all full.
Slowly.
I think aroused is the wrong word. I do apologize. Jeez. But you get it, like
But she's talking to him. That's what he likes directly. He feels that way.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
He likes to be spoken meanly to.
Does he not hear her voice when she puts the keys through the door of the Myers house?
Yeah.
Although it is behind the door, so there'll be a muffle there. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. I think it's more of an intimate moment. Like there's a talking between her and him, and he's just saying he wants to say, "What are you wearing?"
That's it. Well, you do if you listen very carefully. If you listen carefully,
says, I think he heard her sing "Just the Two of Us" because he was stood behind her, wasn't he?
That's it.
Which had you all alone. So he was aroused.
That's right. Well, if you listen carefully, you can hear him unzipping the suit during that scene. He's got the phone. It's very subtle, very quiet. It's very kind of there, and
he's naked again.
That's it. Yeah, he wants to get.
You want to die tonight, Lori?
Yeah, that's it.
He didn't realize 24 years later he'd be kissing her on the mouth.
That's right.
Didn't make the list.
God,
yes,
man, that movie.
What movie is that?
Resurrection.
Oh, Resurrection.
The incest scene.
God.
Yeah.
Makes no sense why you would do that. I mean, I don't even understand why you'd even lean up to kiss him. Makes no sense.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Would you just spit in his eye? Just go.
Yeah.
Or headbutt him or
Chris
something.
says, this screen looks like a panel of retired adult film stars, Frank especially.
Because of my savor flavor.
Yeah,
that's it.
Beautiful.
That's it. Yeah.
We're all porn stars now with peanut butter on our dicks.
That's what we're talking about. That was that's
7 guys, 1 pumpkin.
7 guys.
So many holes in that pumpkin.
1 pumpkin. Oh boy. And a grapefruit.
I like that title.
What?
And a grapefruit.
In a grapefruit.
I don't even. No, you just throw that in there just to make it weird.
Man,
I don't think it's gonna get weirder than me saying, "Oh, Michael felt like he was aroused."
Yeah,
well,
that was weird.
But that's how some people try to I guess figure out what Michael is, and everyone points to his arousal, which I never got. It's some actual real life psychologists have said, I think it's because he's aroused by killing, and then people ask John Carpenter this, and they would say they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, yeah, because it's a very simple story that is often over intellectualized, and there is really nothing there. I mean, it's fun, it's always fun on these kinds of things, to speculate, but it's also in retrospect too, because you have the rest of the series. Mm-hmm. And if it had just been one movie, it's kind of is what it is. I know the novelization of Halloween dove deeper into the backstory and Smith's Grove and things like that, but that's the novel. They needed to expand on the original story to make it more interesting for readers, because if you just took the 90-minute movie and put it into a book form, it's kind of a boring read. So they needed to expand on that. But you also have to remember that the mask in the novelization, Michael's wearing blue eyeshadow and red lipstick on his mask. So, I mean, you can't exactly, and that's true. I'm not making that up. That actually is the mask he has. So, I mean, it is what it is. I forget where I was going with that now, but
very Leatherface.
For sure it is. But he's I was gonna say that there is no, in that first movie, there's no reason. I think, and I know Deborah Hill has said this. Yeah, logic would tell you, and this makes sense from a writing standpoint when you think about it. Is there circumstantial evidence to suggest that Michael Myers likely maybe took an infatuation to Laurie because Laurie reminded him of Judith and Tommy reminded him of himself, and that's why he didn't kill him or whatever? Sure. I mean, that makes sense. I think we can point to that, but that's still not motive, really. I mean, it's just it's still sort of a motive and motivation are two different things, in my estimation, anyway. I mean, they can be mutually exclusive, but not necessarily.
Fantastic.
Very specific you are, Dave.
Yeah.
Well,
He's educating right now.
I don't. If I come across in a certain way, my apologies. I don't mean to. I just get excited.
No, I like it. I like your excitement.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. Good. That's good. That's good. That's great.
We did it. We did our top 5 moments. I thought that was fantastic. I had a really good time. I can't believe I had all you guys on one stream at the same time. I know me and James are super appreciative of all of you to come on, and especially Wolfman and Darren, since it's fucking 4:00 in the morning and
it's tomorrow.
Yeah, man, you guys are troopers, man. So seriously, like that's
It's
awesome.
been good fun.
We really do appreciate the dedication. I mean,
you.
we talked about we planned this a while back, and you guys said you were down, and shocked me, and I had a freaking blast, and so appreciative of all you guys that came on. Everybody was hanging out in the chat, going along, and it was a really good time. I had a good time.
Darren, I love how neat you are. Your bed looks amazing.
I'll be in it in a few minutes. Leave the camera on.
You forgot to turn the camera.
Yeah, you forgot to turn it off.
Darren.
Those rose petals.
He's scratching his side and everything. Just there. Oh my goodness, that'd be so funny. Sending a message, Darren, your fucking camera's on. Gling, gling, gling. It's on silent. We can hear the phone. He's sleeping. Darren. Jesus Christ.
Now I'm just gonna keep the stream on all night now. Darren's camera on. Everyone else will be gone. See what's gonna happen.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. But no, thanks for having me on, man. It was a lot of fun. It was I appreciate the invite and it was fun. Yeah, this is great.
It was awesome. Great to talk Halloween with the fellow Halloween lovers as yourselves. I mean, like I said, we already said can't thank you guys enough. So I think that about wraps the show up for tonight, my people.
Very cool.
It does.
All right,
Yeah,
Had fun.
Really appreciate it.
Now, are you gonna like go off live first and then we say goodbye, or are we just saying goodbye right at the same time as you're going offline? Have you ever had that where you have somebody on, you're like, and we'll be back, okay, bye everybody, and then you go offline, but they also just leave, and you're like, oh,
F you then.
Matt used to do that all the time.
Yeah, we'll do one at a time. We'll say goodbye to Dave first, since he's at the bottom.
Get me out of here. All right, how do I leave this here? How do I guess I
remove you from the
leave studio. But I have a little thing too, so you leave studio. Okay, well you can leave. Okay, well you make me leave then. Good night, everybody. It was great seeing everybody in the chat room. Thanks for having me on. Matt, James, Braden, Barry, Frank, Darren, you guys are awesome. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Cheers, Dave.
Oh, good night.
Dave's gone. Now I'll let Barry go so he can go to bed.
Oh, yes.
Good night, Barry.
Bye, Barry.
Bye. He just
now I'm going to let Darren go so he can go to bed.
Good night, Darren.
Good night, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. Now I'll let Frank go because that's his partner.
Oh.
Bye, Frank.
Sorry,
Bye.
Bye, Frank. Now I'll let Braden go because he's the last one who's a guest.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Braden.
I'll talk to you soon.
Now it's just me and James.
What's up, man?
We did it.
How you feeling? Feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
I'm feeling good.
I've held my pee in for so long.
Like
an hour, bro.
Other streams.
Like an hour. Yeah, but there's 7 of us.
That made you have to pee. Oh, Wolf's still there. I'm gonna bring him back on.
Oh, but Wolf's still here?
I see him down in the waiting room. That was fun. That was fun.
Arouse Michael Myers, peanut butter on our penises, fucking the whole shebang, bro.
I didn't get to read as many comments as I would like to, obviously, but we were a little preoccupied here.
Oh, dude,
So
this
sorry,
was great. This was great. I'm glad everyone came here. I do feel like a fucking weirdo that I did mention Michael's arousal, but I don't know if I can ever let myself live that down.
But
did you see Dave's reaction? He lost it, bro.
But it might. I mean, I kind of get it. I guess he was infatuated with Lori. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty.
Even though some people think that he wanted Annie, which I disagree. But
I don't see it.
I've heard it, and people stick up for it, and I don't see it at all.
No, I don't see.
She was on display for Lori, not fucking on display because he thought she was Judith.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of people I have not said hi to. I believe Destiny was in here earlier. We have Darklight, Good Real Hunting, Byron Weaver was in here earlier. Joshua Parker,
Dean Renner, my man.
Dean Renner,
Chester Franklin, Joshua Parker.
Let's talk about Frank now that he's gone. God, that beard is amazing, bro.
It's glorious.
I'm jealous.
He maintains it, man. That's nice.
Yeah, I've tried before and it just looked really scraggly and stupid.
Yeah, I don't. Mine's too fucking red and I hate it, so I just let it go short.
What happens if you just take it all off?
No. What do you mean? Will it grow back red?
Will it grow back?
It'll grow back, but it'll be just fucking as red as it is now.
I can't tell. It looks brown to me.
Well, if I'm in the sun or in bright lights, it's straight up red, dude.
Looking like fucking Chucky.
Like fucking Chucky. I'm Brad Dourif's baby.
There you go. Joel Felland. What's up, man? What's up? I know, Joel, you weren't too big of a fan of my Lori versus Lori video I saw the other day. I was going to reply to you, and I was like, I'm going to let this die down. I'm going to let everyone who hates that opinion of mine, let them cool their jets for a minute and take a step back and allow me to express my own opinion.
Toronto, Freddie.
Love you, Joel.
You're late as a motherfucker. You're right, bro.
Dude, where the fuck have you been, bro? You missed the entire thing. You missed the peanut butter on the penises, the skull fucking. You missed the how what I don't even remember what I said. Something about Michael Myers being horny or something.
What? Michael was horny?
Wolfman's like, damn guys, I missed the stream tonight.
Shit. That wasn't Wolfman that was here? That was somebody else?
That was someone else, bro.
Harley Bliss, what's up? My first time here. Well, and welcome. You missed all the fun though.
You guys did. That was almost 2 hours of just fun, and you can hear like, I love how everyone had something different a majority of the time, and I love hearing the love and the passion. See, this is my first time ever actually interacting with Frank or Darren. So hearing their side of it was actually really good. Like I've heard Dave before, and he's very passionate in what he says and everything. So I was expecting that. Very, the man can talks well, says all the right things, and knows his shit. Talking to Darren and Frank for the first time was really cool. And of course, Braden and Barry, the three of us, we have we've been homies for a while, so it was good talking to them as well. It's been a while since I've done a video with them.
Homies. Well, that was yes, that was my first video with Frank and Darren. First with Dave. First with Braden. First with Wolfman. So I knocked off a lot of boxes right there. Yeah.
I almost said when number one was my turn, I almost said, all right, so for Halloween Kills, it's going to be as a joke. But, I think it would have been like a lot of get the fuck out of here, James.
I was going to say the trailer to Halloween Kills, but.
The trailer is the best fucking
people thought I was going to say. It was in the comments. I saw it. Oh my God, I can't fucking wait. Matt,
which one of the masks?
This is my first time in the chat room. Good show. Thanks for having it. No problem, Chester. You're the man. Chris Baber, perfect show lineup. I didn't think we were gonna have this many damn people.
I didn't think so either. I think both of our channels was like peaking 20, right?
Yeah.
Individually.
Mm-hmm. And then like I said, I never thought I'd be working with Dave until you reached out and he agreed, and I thought that was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, and I told you that one time, I was like, should I ask Dave to do this? Because I know how he feels about the franchise, and I figured he was only going to say two moments from two films, but then he threw in Halloween 4. So I was wrong.
You were wrong. You thought it was just going to be straight up 5 from Halloween 1.
Oh, yeah. I really thought that. Well, no, I thought he was going to say Halloween 2 because, he is right about the Halloween 2 one where the red lights on Michael's mask. And I love when it gets a close up on his face and he kind of turns or tilts his head and the mask almost looks like it's warped in the mouth area and it looks really sinister.
Oh, Harley Bliss says she loves that H Kills mask.
Oh, thank you. I've been working on this. Been taking my time on this. The hair on it's actually just drying right now. Yeah.
Oh, he's taking his time on that one. I mean, the one he made me did in fucking an hour, and then I just got it. So, whatever. He didn't take any time on that one.
In person, though, This actually, there's more. Oh, oops!
He broke it. Mine looks like that.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah, I love the one that James got. I was thinking about maybe taking that to the convention and getting James Jude to sign it.
You should, dude. Hey,
but I don't want.
dude.
But I don't want him to sign. I kind of just want him to sign the inside, but that might be stupid. I don't want him to sign the outside.
Why not?
I like the way it looks without the signature. I don't want that on there. But
So
then it's kind of weird if I'm like, hey, sign the inside.
That is weird. Because you look at the Rob Zombie mask I have right there, it's all over the mask, the face.
No.
That's why you should do it on the mask.
No. I'll put your signature's on the inside. I should put yours right beside it.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Fauci has a Kills mask right up there.
With the Grimm Creations card right beside it.
Ooh.
This one is from James Grimm. It's fantastic.
It is the first one I ever attempted, so I don't know if I like it as much as the one I'm doing now, but I'm glad you do.
I love it. I wear it around the house.
Yeah?
I do. I put the whole costume on and walk around all the time.
I bet your kids like that.
They actually, my youngest, he'll be 2 on Saturday. Oh my gosh, he fucking loves it.
That's great.
Every Michael Myers is daddy. I got the H Kills poster as my wallpaper, and then he just picks it up and just yells "Daddy" because he thinks it's me.
Daddy, let me wear it.
He loves it. He ain't afraid of it. I don't give a shit. Well, it's just a convention, so it ain't nothing crazy. But I'm taking all the kids to that. I think he'll be the most excited, to be honest.
Oh, is Frank gonna be there too?
Yep.
That's dope.
And maybe Dean.
Ooh, Dean. What's up, Dean?
Paul Maltezos says, "What are your thoughts on Dr. Loomis' theory of Dr. Loomis being the reason Michael is the way he is?" I
don't believe it.
I don't believe that either.
I don't believe it.
Michael was just, baby, he was born that way. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes.
Yeah. Like Lady Gaga.
Yeah, he was just born this way. Joshua Parker says, "I wear nothing but my Michael mask in my garage while I make tables and crafts every late night." I respect it.
Oh, dude, I have to really pee.
All right, we're good. That was a fucking hell of a show. I know. When are we coming back? Next Saturday?
Yeah. Next Saturday. Is it next?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Next Saturday, Halloween Kills talk with Mr. Fauci and myself. And I wish Mr. Fauci here was available on the 22nd because I'm doing a live watch along to Halloween Kills on my channel.
But
excuse me.
But I'll be at the convention.
Dude, that's a lot cooler too, though.
Until I back out like I always do, and then I don't go.
Don't back out. Just do it.
I really want to go. I'm on vacation too, so.
That's great, man. I just found out today I'm out of work for another month.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had an appointment today, and then they declared that I'm gonna be out for another month.
I kind of wish I was out for a month. I need to relax.
I haven't been paid in like 3 to 5 weeks.
Oh, never mind then.
I've been banking on my masks, and they've been selling, but it doesn't keep the lights on completely.
Just partially.
Exactly.
Just the blue light, like Halloween. That's it. That's all you get.
Yes, just the blue light.
Chester Franklin says, Matt, yeah. What your favorite Halloween opening credits? Damn, that's a tough question.
4.
I do love 4 a lot. I do. And I like Halloween 2018 because I like the pumpkin reinflating. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I got to give a shout out to my buddy. He made me I didn't have a shirt with my fucking YouTube channel on it because nobody fucking wants that. But I did. So his fiance's mother owns a screen printing shop.
Nice.
So they took my logo and put it on a shirt for me. Family Creations is what they're called on Facebook. And they hooked me up with this shirt for free. So it meant a lot to me that he went out of his way to get that for me. Not that anybody wants them besides myself, but I like wearing them.
Get one of those.
You want one of those too? I'll make you.
Let me get one of those.
And it's going to say Mr. Fauci Grimm.
Oh, in my case, Mr. Grimm Fauci, actually.
We're going to change our names here. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. Usually we do have that as our name, but tonight we had to go professional. But we're going to get going because we've been going out fucking over 2 hours. And this guy got to take a fucking pee.
I've been holding it for a while.
And somehow there's still 26 people watching after the famous people left. So
I was actually surprised. I saw the number and I was like, dude, people are just sticking around still. So I was like, all right. I mean, if you guys want to stick around, that's cool. I didn't think you guys wanted to see my face, but if you guys want to see me a little longer,
Chris Baber says, great fucking show. See you guys in another video. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody who hang out with us tonight. I mean, I know majority of people were here because they wanted to see Dave and Wolfman
and Slaughtered Lamb
and Braden. They don't really care about me and James, but we appreciate it because we had a good time hanging out with them for sure.
Yeah.
And it fucking kicked ass. And now it's time for me to go to bed. And James is going to go pee. And
I'm going to pee a lot. It's going to be fucking bliss, bro.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yep. Oh, yes, sir. Your new Halloween Kills shirt, man. I nice. Yeah, Essence of Evil. I had to get it.
Nice. And I feel bad because you went out of your way to make those thumbnails and I didn't use them.
I noticed that.
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
No, you used one. You used the first one.
I know. I fucking ran out of time.
No,
there's the fourth one he made for number 4. And there's the third one for number 3, number 2, and number 1.
Oh.
They are beautiful, and I apologize that I didn't use them.
So are we going to end this on a low note and drop it like a machete or what?
Are you think? Oh, I wanted to play that with everybody here, but I didn't think they would get it, so I didn't do it. But actually, you know what? None of those were my favorite moment from Halloween. Actually, it was actually this next clip, and here it comes. My favorite. I can't believe I forgot this. My favorite moment from the Halloween franchise, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
I love it, dude. This doesn't get old, man.
You remember when Michael did that to him? That was crazy. He did him dirty like that. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, and then Sean said they can get you one of those Fauci Cinema shirts made, man, if you want one. That's what they said.
Please and thank you. I like to support my dude.
And I got my Halloween Kill shirt too. I didn't wear it yet. I was saving it until I go to the theater, so I didn't wear it yet.
Oh.
I'm sentimental like that. And then I'll either come out of the theater saying, man, that movie fucking sucked.
You just rip it in fucking half, like right there.
It's happened to me before. I went to see the Hulk back in the day with my Hulk shirt on, and then I came out and was like, wow, that movie fucking sucked dick.
Hulk with like Eric Bana?
Yes. 2003?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like wow, that movie sucked.
I love that, actually.
I hated it.
Jennifer Connelly's in it.
Hated it. Fucking dog shit. But that was fun.
That was fun. That's great.
And we will, like we said, we will be back on next Saturday. Halloween Kills spoiler talk, obviously, because we have seen it. Oh, and by the way, Fandom Empire, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate that.
I wasn't here, but thank you.
Shut your face. We're gonna end it like we usually do. However I fucking want.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, let me get my jumpsuit on and then unzip it slowly to.
Oh yeah.
Just the two of us.
Oh, I wish I had you all alone. Just the two of us.
What if Michael started dancing back there? I'm like a fire dog. No, but seriously, he's gonna go pee. We're done.
Yeah, I do have to pee.
Great show. Come back next time.
Thank you.